let's have a look around our screen in our new spreadsheet. We've got the title of the spreadsheet at the top here, which is Space Academy Shopping. Yours will have your name on it. We have a toolbar here across the top with lots of different things. If we're not sure what things are, we can hover over them and they will tell us. We've also got down here the formula bar, and then underneath we have all of our cells made up of rows that go across and columns that go top to bottom. And at the very bottom we have our tabs or sheets. At the moment we only have one tab or one sheet. So to begin with our Space Academy shopping, we're going to type in a title here. We're going to write in Space Academy Shopping. It's not much of a title at the moment, so we're going to click back on to that cell with a single click rather than double click. I'm going to choose a font size of say 24 and a font colour. I've gone for red. Then we're going to go down into cell A3 and we're going to type the following item. Then in cell B3 we're going to type price. In C3 we're going to type quantity. And in D3 we're going to type total. Underneath we're going to type 4 items that we're going to buy. Keep the same as my items because you'll have an opportunity to customise yours in a bit. So we're going to have overalls, a flight suit, gloves and boots. We're going to type in the prices. Now note, I'm not going to be typing any pound signs at this point. So overalls can be 50, flight suit could be 100, gloves could be 70, and boots could be 150. We're going to type in some quantities now for how many we want. Quantity means how many. So let's say we need 5 overalls, 2 flight suits, 2 pairs of gloves, and 1 pair of boots. What we need to do now is we need to make these values all into currency or money. So what we're going to do is we're going to click and hold our mouse in the middle of the cell, drag it down, and then let go. So that's clicking and holding in the middle of the cell, dragging down, and then let go. Then we're going to head up to the toolbar and we're going to find the format as currency. It's either a pound sign or a dollar sign, doesn't matter which. And we'll notice that it's automatically created our prices with 2 decimal places. If we wanted to reduce the number of decimal places, we can by clicking on this symbol here to decrease the number of decimal places, or we could increase the number of decimal places. Normally we have 2 decimal places in money because we have 100 pence in a pound. Now we need to work out the total cost for these overalls. I know that we could just times 50 by 5 in our head, but what we're going to do is we're going to use the spreadsheet to work it out for us. So in the total cell, we are going to type the letter equals. This symbol equals will tell the computer that we want to do a calculation, and we should always start our formulas, our calculations, with this symbol. Now Google Sheets has suggested what formula I might want to use, and it's suggested that B4 star C4 is the one that I want to use. However, I'm going to show you how to do it just in case. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on the cell B4, and you will notice that it has written in B4 for you in the formula. We are then going to do the multiplication symbol, which is the asterisk, which can be typed with Shift and star. And then we are going to click on quantity for the number in C4. You will notice it has now populated a formula of equals B4 star C4. We can press enter on this and it has automatically filled it in. Now it is suggesting an autofill here to do the rest of it, but I will show you how to do this in case it doesn't come up. And also at some points it may suggest an autofill which you don't want. So we're going to say no to that for the moment. So 5 lots of overalls of £50 is indeed £250. So what we could do is we could fill in the next formula and the next and the next, but that would take quite a long time, and as computer scientists we're always looking for those shortcuts. So let's click back on the cell that we just wrote our formula in cell D4, and you will notice that it's highlighted it in blue and also has this blue blob in the corner here. If I hover over the blue blob with my mouse, you will see my mouse has changed into a plus symbol or a crosshairs. If I click, hold and drag my mouse down and then let go, you'll see that it copies the formula down. So in the first one that we've done, we've got equals B4 times C4. In the second one, we've got equals B5 times C5, B6 times C6, and B7 times C7. So the computer has identified a pattern here. We're almost done with doing the calculations in this first instance. What we're going to do now is we're going to get the grand total. So we're going to type grand total into cell C8, and then we are going to use a function to do our total. We could, in theory, have done equals and then done plus and plus and plus and plus, but that's a very long-winded way of doing the formula when we can do a much simpler way, which it's suggesting down here using a sum formula. So let's have a look at how this works. So if we click in the cell D8, if we go up to the top right hand of our screen, it might be under the dot 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 for more, or you might see a symbol like this, which looks like a backwards letter E or a sideways capital M. This is our functions button. If we click on this, we have a huge amount of things that we can do, but we only want the one at the very top, which is sum, which means to add up. It has now populated our formula with equals sum and two brackets, and it is waiting for us to put something between the two brackets. What it is asking us to do is to tell it what to add up. So we're going to click in our first cell here, and we are going to hold the mouse and drag all the way down until the last one. And you will notice it has populated D4 colon, which are those two dots, D7, which means cells D4 through to D7 inclusive. So D4, D5, D6 and D7. And sum means to add up all of these numbers. And you can tell that it's already previewing. It says it's going to be £740. So let's just press enter on that. And there we go. The grand total has been copied. Right, so what we're going to do now is just add a bit of formatting. First of all, what we want to do is we want to add borders onto our table so it looks more like a table. So what we're going to do is we're going to click and hold in cell A3. We're going to drag all the way down to cell D7 and then let go. So we're going to go up to the toolbar and we're going to find something that's to do with borders. Here, this little icon here that looks like an old window is borders. If we click on it, it brings up a second menu. This is the one where you're going to pick what type of border you want. This one puts borders on all of them, and the dotty bit makes the borders are going to be clear. You can change the colours and you can change the thickness if you prefer. But let's just keep it simple and just put all borders on for the moment in black. If we click back away, what we can do now is we can change how the headings look. So we could click and hold in cell A3, drag across to cell D3, and what we can do is we could maybe make them bold. Maybe we could fill the background a different colour using the fill tool. So let's say make it blue. But now our font doesn't really show up very well on top of our background. So we need to change the text colour, let's say to white. Looking a bit more spacey potentially. You can obviously choose different colours if you prefer. One last thing that we need to do before we go into your independent work is we're going to add a photograph just to make this a little bit more exciting. So we're going to go to the insert menu at the top here, and we are going to choose image, which is about halfway down. We have two options, one to in the cell and one for over the cells. We're going to choose the over the cells one. Now we have several options for entering an image, but we're going to head to the last one for Google Images, which allows us to search in Google. Now you can pick any sort of space related image. I'm going to search for astronaut and see what I can find there. So we've got lots of different images here. I can scroll down to see which ones I quite like. That's quite jolly. Let's add that one in. And then it will add the image. You can click on the image and move it however you want. And you can add multiple images if you prefer. So for the independent work, what I would like you to do is to add some more items to your list. Come up with some more prices, some more quantities, calculate the total and a new grand total. To begin doing this, what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the grand total to begin with. we're then going to start adding some extra things onto the list. You can make these up, they don't have to be super realistic, but it makes it more fun if they kind of are. So we can make up some prices. And again, we need to format these as currency. And then make up some quantities. So we need to work out the total. Now, what we can do here is, rather than writing our formula again, is we can use our autofill. So we can drag down here from the corner. Then we need to add the rest of our borders in. And then finally we need to calculate the grand total at the bottom. And that's all you need to do for this video.